Kadosh Boker Or, Masechet Nedarim Daf Amud Aleph 85a1. Says the Gemara, we were just speaking about now Tovat Hana'ah. So we just said that the Rebbe was the one that held Tovat Hana'ah is money, and Rabbi Yosef holds that Tovat Hana'ah is not money. So the Gemara answers no. According to everybody, Tovat Hana'ah is not considered money, which means that if you're going to come and you're going to benefit from giving or distributing ma'ot tzedakah, whether it's maaser or the different things like that, it's not considered a tangible money. It's not considered money. But here we're talking about matanot shelo hurmu katani. We're talking about matanot that were not given. Is it considered already given or not? I mean, it's basically, you have tevel here. Tevel is untithed produce, and you do not separate the trumot and maserot. So is that considered that it was already given or not? Because when this guy came and he stole your tevel and he ate it, technically speaking, he also ate the money of the maaser. He ate the money of the maaser rishon, of the maaser sheni, of whatever it is, of the maaser. So therefore, why should he pay you that back? Anyway, you were going to give that away. So the machloket between them is that considered already distributed or not? No. Okay, that's basically the machloket between them. According to Rabbi, as long as you didn't distribute it, it's not considered given, and therefore everything's still yours. And according to Rabbi Yosef, it was already considered given. Ask the Gemara, if you're going to tell me now that Tovat Hana'ah is not considered money, mali urmu, mali lo urmu, what do I care if you actually gave it or already or you didn't give it? If it's not considered money, what does it matter now if it's already considered separated or not? Okay? Ela hainu ta'ama de Rabbi, but rather the reasoning of Rabbi is kansu rabbanan laganav. According to Rabbi, it's a special halacha over here that they gave a knas to a ganav. They gave a knas to the thief, a penalty, a fine, in order that he shouldn't pay, he shouldn't steal. Meaning, we purposely gave him a penalty. Really, be'emet, he shouldn't have had to pay it back. But here we give them a knas, we give them a penalty. Why? We don't want people stealing. Rabbi Yehuda says, "Kansu rabbanan lebalabayit ki'ech." No, the opposite. We were giving the knas to the balabait. You know why we're giving the knas to the one that was stolen from? Because why do you have tevel that you didn't separate the trumot and masrot? It's your fault. You should have separated trumot and masrot immediately. The fact that you didn't, you lose out. That's the shita of Rabbi Yosef. That means basically, according to everybody, you give a knas. The question is to who? Is it to the thief? In order that he doesn't steal, or to the balabait untithed produce, or to the balabait, right? That because he didn't take off the trumot ma'asrot. So says the Gemara, Rabba comes and he says, Shane truma is going to be a little bit different. Because the reasoning is because you're going to take it against your will. Because truma is only going to be fitting for the kohanim. So since the person that's coming to make the neder comes to prohibit on all the kohanim bekunam, so therefore it's made like a far be'alma, and therefore it's like he was like mafkir this Tovat Hana'ah, and therefore he cannot come and he cannot give it to any kohen anymore. So from then onwards, he doesn't have any ba'alut, he doesn't have any ownership on the truma, and that's why it's permitted for the kohanim and levim to come and to take it away from him. Meaning the second that this guy came and he said, I don't want any kohen to benefit from it, he just made that this truma maaser is now hefker. Because it's like afar, because there's no Tovat Hana'ah. He can't do anything anymore. He cannot give it to a kohen because he doesn't want any kohen to benefit from him. Once it's considered like afra be'alma, any kohen could come and take it away from him, right? And he can't say anything because basically it's not his anymore. He actually lost out on that. Says the Mishnah, Pehe Amud Aleph, 85a1, 85a Mishnah. Kunam shani oseh al pi abba. That means basically she makes a neder to her husband. She says, I'm not going to work to do any work for my father. Or for your father, my brother, your brother, he cannot do, since it does not have inui nefesh, right? It's not dvarim shebeno levenan, there's no inui nefesh. He cannot do hafarat nedarim. She'eni osal picha, I'm not going to do you work. There you don't even have to do hafarat nedarim, because since she's subjugated to him to work, so therefore it's not even a neder. It's like, mufkai, he doesn't even have to do anything. It's already not a neder. Rabbi Kiva says, no, Yafir, he should do hafarat nedarim. Maybe she's going to work too much, she's going to make more money, and therefore the extra is going to be a problem. Rabbi Yochanan says, Yafer, you should do a faran nedarim. Shema yegareshen, because maybe he's going to divorce her, and then she would be prohibited again to get married to him. Because once he divorces her, so then he cannot come and do anything afterwards, right? Of all the things that she's obligated to do for her husband. Because remember, she could take her back. Okay? Says the Gemara. It's a mitzvah to take her back, right? Amar Shmuel comes and he says, that he should do afarat nedarim, right? Because then, if he divorces her, he can never get married to her again. The Shmuel hold, a person could come and consecrate something that never came to this world. At the end of the day, she did not work yet. So she did not work. How did she consecrate it? How did she make it into something primitive? It's not here, right? It's not here. I cannot come and say, listen, if I have $1 million, so then you still don't have it. If you don't have it, there's nothing there. Imagine right now I come and I say, you know what? If I have $1 million, if I get $1 million, I'm going to give them to you. It's nothing. You cannot even come to me to do anything. Why? They weren't in the world. If they're not in the world, it's worthless. It's not even worth the paper that's written on it. Yeah? So he says, we have a contradiction. Somebody's going to consecrate the Masechet Nedarim of his wife's. 85b. She could do melacha and she could eat. Right? Why? Because it's not going to be chal. Vehamotar and the extra. Rabbi Meir says, hekdesh. It's going to be considered hekdesh. Rabbi Yochanan says, chulin. It's considered chulin. Ve'amar Shmuel says, elachak Rabbi Yochanan sanlar and elachazak Rabbi Yochanan sanlar. Alma, so you see from here, a person is not going to be magdish tavash. You can't do that. You cannot consecrate something that's not in this world. Now, if you're going to come and now tell me, right, that when are we coming and saying this, right? Which is basically going to be on the adafa, which is basically the extra. So why didn't you just say the to do with the extra? The adafa, whatever she makes more than what she really needs. Inami or alachazak tarakama or the alachazak Rabbi Akiva. So it's mashma the alachaz, not like anything. What's going on here? Okay. Elamar Rav Yosef, but rather Rav Yosef comes and he says, Shane kunamot. It's different to kunam. Hoil ve'adam osel perot chavero alav. But since the person is going to prohibit their friend's fruits on him, oser nami davar shelo olam. So therefore, it's going to be oser davar shelo olam, like this. Usually, you cannot be magdish davar shelo olam, because it's not in this world. But here, you're doing something which is usually unusual. Usually, you could prohibit something onto you which is yours, or that you want to buy. Here, I'm prohibiting my friend's fruits on me. So says over here, Rav Yosef, the fact that I could prohibit my friend's fruits on me, and usually I cannot do such a thing, so too I could be oser davar shelo ba'olam onto me, right? Because it's the same concept. That means even though it did not come into this world. That means just like my friends, even though I cannot prohibit something, can I come and I say, Jean-Jacques, you're not allowed to come and use your shaver. Can I prohibit you on that? Of course not. It's yours. How could I prohibit something yours? I could prohibit yours onto me, that yes, but that's also not the norm. But the fact that I could do that, what happens? All of a sudden, what happens now is that I'm also allowed to prohibit the davar shelo ba'olam. So here, the Masechet Nedarim of the woman, which is a woman's salary, her actions, she still didn't work it, she still didn't get it. But the fact that you could prohibit your friend's fruits on yourself, you're also allowed to prohibit on yourself davar shelo ba'olam. Okay? So Elmaleh Abaye comes and he wants to disprove Rav Yosef, and he says, Bishlema, I understand. Adam oser perot chavero alav, she'adam oser perotav al chavero. It works both ways by your friend. I am allowed to prohibit his fruits onto me because I'm allowed to prohibit my fruits onto him. Meaning it's a two-way street. So therefore, I'm going to prohibit his fruits onto me because I could prohibit my fruits onto him. I could do that. I could say, I don't want you to benefit from me. I'm allowed to say that. So therefore, two-way street works. But he says, but but one second. Can I come and say that Isaac is not allowed to have the fruits from the other Isaac? Yitzchak with Yitzchak, yeah? Can I come and say that one of them cannot? I can do that. I cannot prohibit to you the friend's fruits. So therefore he comes and he says, it's not a two-way street. Before it was a two-way street. I could prohibit, right, myself to your fruits because I could prohibit my fruits to you. Both ways, right? Two-way street.
What is
right?
these?
Here it's a davar shelo ba'olam. Davar shelo ba'olam, one second. So davar shelo ba'olam, can I prohibit him onto your fruits? Or you onto his fruits?
It's
No.
a different thing, but you could...
One second. So therefore, just like, right, they are not in my reshut. Why can I not prohibit Isaac onto John Jack's fruits and John Jack onto Isaac's fruits? You know why? Very simple. Do I have jurisdiction over Isaac?
That's the whole thing.
Do I have jurisdiction over John Jack? No. So therefore, if I do not have jurisdiction, it does not help. So he comes and he says like this. In the previous case, when it was a two-way street, I had the jurisdiction. I have the jurisdiction over myself and on my fruits to you. There I have the jurisdiction on both of them. It's not here. There's no jurisdiction. It doesn't exist. I cannot say that it's something. Can I come and say, what do I have on my $1 million? If I don't have the $1 million yet, it's not tangible. I cannot say, no, but these $1 million, I'm giving it to you. It's not mine yet. I do not have jurisdiction over it. So comes the Abaye and he says, just like I cannot prohibit his fruits onto him and his fruits onto him because I don't have jurisdiction over each other. So to he comes and he says, so therefore, the same thing. You don't have jurisdiction over the Shalom Olam. And therefore, since you don't have jurisdiction over the Shalom Olam, you cannot prohibit it. Says the Gemara, says Ravuna Bered Yeshua, Beomeret Yikachu Yadai Leosehen. The Yadai Manu Olam. This we learned this 20 times already. You know what it is? You're right. If you're only saying Maseh Yadayim is not tangible. Since Maseh Yadayim is not, meaning it's something in the future, so that's the Shalom Olam. But the hands, are they in the world? The hands are in the world. So she's saying, making the neder on her hands. Maseh Yadayim, well, my hands make. So if it's on the hands, it's not, which is tangible. It's not on what you're going to make. So therefore, since that the hands are tangible, the hands are here. So therefore, it's the instrument of doing it. So that is in the world. So therefore, that's we said that in Ketubot, we said that in Yemot, we said that in everywhere. Yeah. This is what? One second. She says that Maseh Yadayim, it's going to be kadosh. 1 second, but her hands are subjugated to her husband. Her hands are subjugated to work for her husband. She can't come and say Maseh Yadayim are going to become kadosh. So answers the Gemara. No, so she said when she gets divorced, because when she gets divorced, they're not subjugated anymore to the husband. So therefore, it's going to be chal. So says the Gemara, but right now she's not divorced. So for what does it tell me now that right now it's going to be prohibited? Why would it be prohibited? Yeah. So answers the Gemara on Pei Vav Amud Aleph. Amar Rabbi Ila, says Rabbi Ila. Imagine right now, I'm going to come and I'm going to say like this. I'm going to sell you the field. Yeah, the field, right, that I'm selling you. When I'm going to buy it back from you, it's going to become a Gdesh. Can that happen or not? I'm selling you a field. I'm selling it to you, and I'm going to buy it back from you afterwards. Well, it's going to be in another year, right? Whether it's going to be, let's say, in the walled cities. So I have a year, and then after the year, I could force you to sell it back to me, or I'm going to buy it back from you whenever it is. There was a condition, a stipulation. I could buy it back from you. So listen to this. The guy comes and he says, listen, I'm going to sell you this field, right? This is the terms. I'm going to buy it back from you in 10 years, 5 years, right? If I don't have the money, I forgo it. But if not, I buy it back from you, and you're obligated to sell to me, and at this price. Okay, so everything's there. Everything's stipulated. Chazak u'baruch. I come and I sell it to you, and there I come and I say, I'm going to sell you this field. When I buy it back in 5 years, it's Ekdesh. Does it help or not? Right now, I'm selling you the field, and I'm only buying back from you in 5 years. But when am I making it Ekdesh? From now. And I'm saying, when I buy it back from you in 5 years, it's going to be Ekdesh. Does that work or not? So that's what the Gemara here is saying. So the Gemara is saying, are you going to... She thought that it's Kadosh, because since he still didn't sell it, it's still in his possessions, so he has the hands to make a Kadosh right now. So if it's Chal right now, that means even though in between, there was a certain time frame that he has no jurisdiction over it, right now, does he have jurisdiction? Yes. He didn't sell it yet. He's saying, I'm going to sell you this field, so it's still mine. So therefore, since I still have jurisdiction, I could still do that. So it is still considered Hekdesh. So when she comes and she says,
he's not Hekdesh from that moment.
No, when he buys it back. Back. So he says, since like that, when she comes and she says that my hands are going to be prohibited, when she gets divorced, the neder is chal. And therefore, when she does get divorced, right, she's able to come and she's able to prohibit her Maseh Yadayim, Maseh Yadea, she's able to do it because she had the jurisdiction during that moment in order to make that neder. We continue with Zat Hashem tomorrow.